Welcome to SRJC Music Concert about musical shape and structure, entitled Hyperboloid. This concert is all about the shape, structure, and architecture of music. The hyperboloid is actually a very interesting shape. It's the hyperbola spun around on an axis. So this is just one example of a neat artistic shape, and my question to you, how many other neat artistic shapes are out there? We'll even look a bit at music that goes into the world of either rock and roll and also the world of theater and musicals. And what happens if we merge those two worlds? You'll find that out a little bit later in the program when we take Dream On by Aerosmith, arranged by one of our star students, Matteo Pruski, and takes that and writes it for a string quartet and says, what happens to the architecture here if we merge these two worlds that normally wouldn't speak? In the fall, we are back in person. That's right. Band and orchestra, as well as the other performing groups such as choir, etc., jazz groups, will all be back in person in the fall. So expect that, start spreading the word, get people ready and excited. August 16th will be orchestra starting back in person. August 17th will be band starting back in person for rehearsals in the live in-person format. We have a very special guest feature by Dr. Mark Anderman, the Director of Theory and Ear Training and Applied Music at Santa Rosa Junior College, one of the best theory professors I've seen in the whole country. He has a special guest feature that's coming up entitled The Shape of Music. Get ready. This concert also features a number of different student compositions, student arrangements, and even student conducting. So we encourage these students to kind of get up and take a leadership role. Part of why we do that, we want to encourage them to use this as a stepping stone into their career in music for some of them, because often that can be sort of a springboard into the next step, either as a music educator or a high school band director or a middle school band director or a composer or a performer. This can help springboard them into the professional world. We'll be featuring Grant Bramham, Charlie Gomez, Ethan Bailey, and Matteo Pruski. Concert program is in the video description below. Click there and you can see the list of every piece we perform and also the names of all these wonderful performers. Don't forget to subscribe to SRJC Instrumental Music, both on YouTube and also on Instagram and also Facebook. That way you can keep in touch with us and see our lots of exciting updates to come. There's a donation tab in the video description below. If you're in a position to give, please do and help support these wonderful musicians. We could not do these concerts without your support. Your support helps us do things like buy sheet music. It helps us buy instruments when they're needed. It helps us with the guest coaches and clinicians. And so we really deeply appreciate any support you can give to support these students and this musical program. So a little bit about structure before we go into our next piece on the program. You may have heard of something called the golden ratio. You can see it on your screen right here. This number 1.618033 and keeps going on forever. So sometimes people talk about this number as the divine ratio, the golden ratio. This number also links into the Fibonacci sequence. So the Fibonacci sequence, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc., where each two numbers keep adding up to the next one. As the Fibonacci sequence goes higher and higher, it gets closer and closer to this exact number, the golden ratio, 1.61, etc. This special number, also known as phi, might even explain growth in nature. How does the golden ratio relate to a song? Well, if we take phi, this number you see here, and we take the inverse, we get 0.618. So if you go to this spot in the song, which is a little bit after the halfway point, you get what's sometimes called the golden section. And so this might be sort of a special place in the music where often if you look at the arc at this point in the music, something special or something climactic happens right here. If we look at the next piece, in total there are 58 measures. So if we took this spot, the golden ratio, and found sort of the golden section, we would end up right about at measure 36. We look there in the music, and sure enough, that's the first time we get this high G, and it's the only time we get it as the highest note in the whole entire song. And at that point in the music, that's the first time we get the dynamic forte, or loud, in the music for the whole entire song up to that point. So you'll hear this climactic moment sounds like this. In case you're a fan of Mozart, Mozart often wrote a lot of his pieces based on this golden ratio, especially his piano sonatas. So he would take the total number of measures and he would say, I'm going to make, out of the 3 sections of sonata form, he would make the total number of measures in the development and recapitulation, which is the middle and the last section. That total number of measures divided by the number of measures in the opening section, called the exposition, would again be the golden ratio. So this number keeps coming up more and more that we look into music. If you looked at a Stradivarius violin and started to look at the different measurements there, you would again see this golden ratio, and some of these either golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence start to pop up. And you would even find it in visual art such as Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. We hope you enjoy. See if you can hear any of these golden ratio, any of these concepts. See if you hear it, or is it just in our imagination? You can be the judge. Here we go with the next piece, Quiet Courage.
Hello everybody, my name is Ethan Bailey. I play second violin with the orchestra, and I am going to talk about the next piece you're going to hear. It is called Zoom Quartet, and here's the history behind it. Last semester, fall 2020, it was the first completely virtual semester for the band and orchestra. And because it was virtual, the rehearsal days were different than when it was in person, and so some people couldn't make it. I assume that's the reason. And a lot of the orchestra was not in the group. So, in fact, the string section, which is usually like the biggest section, was represented by 2 violins, a cello, and 2 basses. I think 2 basses. Yeah, that's it. 5 people. So the basses went off and played with the band, and the 2 violins and cello were put into the string quartet, if you remember from the last concerts last year. And so we had a string quartet with 3 people. And this piece features 2 violins and a cello, and the name Zoom Quartet, because we held our rehearsals on Zoom, is a joke. That's why I made it. Yes, I myself wrote this piece, and this piece is structured kind of weird. Kind of like how a hyperboloid shape is kind of a weird shape. The first part is kind of an introduction saying, here are the 3 instruments playing. And then the next 3 sections all revolve around the same theme. And they're in 3 different styles, and I'll let you figure out what the styles are. That's your guys' job. And then the last bit is kind of a throwback to part of the introduction, and I think it sounds nice. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the piece, in my opinion, but I think it sounds great. So that's the structure of the piece. Kind of strange, but I hope you enjoy it. Please enjoy the Zoom Quartet.
What is the shape of music? Have you ever considered the elegant geometry of everything from the simplest musical structures to the most complex compositions? From acoustic principles found in nature, we build harmonies of great complexity. And variety. Unlike in books or in movies, which continually move forward, music often involves repetition or staying in one place. Hearing the same thing over again can be pleasurable. Musical structure is about balancing repetition with contrast. One of the most popular forms is called ternary, or ABA. First, play me a catchy tune. Now, play me something else. Okay, now let me hear that first tune again. And the cycle is complete. A popular form of musical storytelling is called sonata form. In sonata form, we meet a musical theme. Then we send it on a long, difficult journey. And when it comes home, it is forever changed by the experience. Has music changed your life? Perhaps we are asking the wrong question. Not what is the shape of music, but rather, how does music shape us?
We hope you enjoyed that guest feature from Dr. Mark Anderman. You heard him referencing sonata form, which was A, B, A, first exposition, then the development, where we take the themes and alter them, and then the recapitulation, where it comes back to the opening music. And that right there, that sonata form, was probably the most important form to come out of the whole classical era, going maybe all the way into the 20th century. And so we take that sonata form, and guess what? It's on our next piece. which was often the first movement of symphonies and concertos and sometimes other movements as well. We decided to present it as selections from the movement. So you will hear the music sometimes weave in and weave out of the actual score. And the reason for this is we're highlighting the parts that worked the best in the virtual format. We hope you enjoy. This is selections from Dvorak's 6th Symphony, first movement. Couple very important thank yous. We want to thank Grant Bramham, who has edited the big ensemble videos for the orchestra and the band. Grant, you've been amazing. You've helped us get through this challenge of the pandemic year. You've kept a smile on our face. You've been an absolute pleasure to work with. You're an exemplary musician. You've also gone above and beyond and made these multi-screen music videos possible. You brought so much joy and so much happiness to everybody in the community. If we can all give a big round of applause, make it loud so Grant can hear from his home, for Mr. Grant Bramham. We also want to thank a couple of the other video editors. I'm sorry if I leave anybody off this list. Josh Monson, you have saved us a couple times with some of the string quartet arrangements, were brilliant. And also the brass quintet arrangements, again, brilliant. Thank you, Josh, you're amazing. Rory Ainsworth, amazing video editing and other editing too. Matteo Pruski, sorry for anybody I left off that list. Just know that we appreciate each and every one of you and everything you've done to make these concerts possible. We also want to thank Eric Schleppe for all of the extra work you did with editing the multi-part brass parts within Soundtrap that then made the ensemble pieces that much fuller. Thank you, Eric. We also want to say a big thank you to our department chair, Jody Beneke. You were amazing. Thank you, Jody, for leading our whole music department through such a challenging, such a strange last year. We could not have done without you, and we appreciate Professor Jody Beneke for everything you've done to kind of lead us through this. And we look forward to lots of great things to come in the future as we go forward.
One, two, three, four.
Hello everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all enjoying the concert. What you're about to hear is an arrangement of Somewhere Over the Rainbow for our brass players in the band. This was a really cool collaboration. We tried some new things. We used Soundtrap, we used Zoom to record the video, and all our brass players had great ideas that really helped make this piece into what it is. So I really want to thank them. Namely Rory Ainsworth, who helped me edit the audio, and he put the video together as well. So props to Rory. And just as a side note, I want to thank Jerome for all these wonderful opportunities I've had here at SRJC. None of this would have been possible if I wasn't given this platform to be able to do it. So I'm really grateful for that. So I hope you all enjoy. It's gonna be great. Oh, and another quick side note. I heard that over at Rancho Cotati High School, my old high school, you guys in the band have been watching these videos, and I want to thank you for checking these out and seeing what I've been doing. And I wanted to give a shout out to the seniors as well. I'm really proud of you guys. Keep up the good work, and I can't wait to see what happens when you guys go off to college and all that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn how to lead as well. You guys were amazing, and I just wanted you to know that. Also, at Piner High School, where my sister Angelina Gomez teaches, I hear you guys are watching these videos too. Miss Gomez is really cool, and you should totally stay in the band next year. And you're gonna have a lot of fun, like really, like she's awesome. She's gonna be a great teacher. So yeah. Anyways, enjoy Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Hello, my name is Grant Bramham. I am the video editor for the full ensemble pieces, and I decided to put together a culmination of a couple different departments of the JC. I decided to take the orchestra, the band, and our vocal department and get them all together and have them do a rendition of the finale from Into the Woods. I'd played Into the Woods at the JC back in 2018, 2019 maybe. It was a while ago, and I liked the ending song, so I decided to edit it together, get an arrangement together. Special thanks to Riley, who did a special arrangement of one of the read books for me to help out cover some parts that were missing. Special thanks to Mark Sokolskin, who did the piano and synth. I've worked on it with him on a couple other projects. And special thanks to some of his friends, Olivia and Will, who did extra vocals for me as well. So without further ado, here is the finale number from Into the Woods. Hope you enjoy it.
Sometimes people leave you halfway through the road. Do not let it grieve you. No one leaves for good. You are not alone. No one is alone. Hold him to the light now. Let him see the glow. Things will be alright now. Tell him what you know. Careful the things you say, children will listen. Careful the things you do, children will see. And learn. Children may not obey, but children will listen. Children will look to you for which way to learn what to be. Careful before you say, listen to me. Children will listen. Careful the wish you make. Wishes are children. Careful the paths they take. Wishes come true. Not free. Careful the spell you cast, not just on children.
Sometimes the spell may last
Past what you can see, and turn against you. Careful the tale you tell, that is the spell. Children will listen.
Though it's deep, though it's dark, and though you may lose the path that you may
Though
cut
it's
to wolves.
fearful, though it's deep, though it's dark, and that you may lose the path that you may get to wolves. You can't just act, you have to think. There are always wolves, there are always spells, there are always fiends or giants plus.
Into the woods you go again, you have to every now and then. Into the woods, no telling when, be ready for the journey. Into the woods, but not too fast, or what you wish you lose at last.
Into the woods, but mind the past.
Into the woods, but mind the future.
Into the woods, but not to stay
Or tempt the wolf, or steal from the giant. The way is dark, the light is dim.
chances look small.
The chances look grim, but everything you learn there will help when you return there.
The light is getting dimmer, I think I see a glimmer.
Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn than what you know. Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearly midnight. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to find, to eat, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, into the woods.
And happy ever after.
I wish.
Giovanni Gabrieli was an influential composer who lived in Venice between 1550 and about 1612. He was organist and official composer at San Marco, and his composition style is polyphonic, which means that each of the four voices of the ensemble are independently imitating and echoing each other. It's a really fun style of music to play because every one of the four voices is equally important. It is also challenging because you have to constantly listen to the other instruments so you can imitate and match their phrasing.
This is Andrew McLaughlin, trumpet with the SRJC Orchestra. And I was thinking more about the question of how music has shaped my life in terms of my instrument. And I play the trumpet. And it's a blessing and a curse because you get all the highest, biggest, most exciting moments in a lot of the orchestral repertoire. And that's a blessing because it's awesome and it's fun. You get to be the hero and you often get to play the high notes. It's a curse because you often get to play the high notes and you're very exposed. And in some of our theaters, like Jackson Theater and the new Burbank Theater, they're very live and everyone's going to hear you. So the temptation sometimes as a trumpet player is to play safe, to play not to miss your note. Cautious. Maybe you pinch up, you tense up, and you pinch your airstream. Well, if you do that, you are going to miss your note. You're going to miss the high note. Everyone's going to hear it. And so you have to be brave. On the trumpet, you have to play with bravery. You have to let it go. You have to let the air go. You have to relax. And you may still make a mistake, but you might not. And if you don't, then it sounds awesome. And so that lesson on my instrument, the trumpet, has taught me to, in life, try to apply that truth elsewhere, to live bravely and to let it go rather than to live cautiously or with timidity. And I don't always succeed, but it's something that I continue to strive for. And I think that is one key aspect of how music has shaped my life. One, how has music shaped me? How has it shaped or guided my life? One of the first pieces of music I ever listened to was Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. It was on LP. It belonged to my parents, and I think I was in love with that by the age of 2 or 3. And so from basically the beginning of my life, classical music was so exciting and so emotional. It just made me feel really good. The big, powerful build-up in the brass and then the glorious ending. It's part of my earliest memory. I started playing the trumpet when I was 10, and I'm 41, so that means I've been playing trumpet for 31 years, almost all my life, and it's meant almost everything to me as my own individual. Music has probably shaped me more than anything else, except for possibly my parents and my immediate family, my sister. And it's taught me everything. It's taught me hard work, patience, the importance of practice, consistency. It's thrilling. Giving a concert in the orchestra is such a fun and exciting experience. All the lights and the people in the audience are happy, and the music is exciting and beautiful. And so music has shaped me. Without music in my life, it would have been a different life completely. I'd be a different person. So it's been everything to me.
What shape do music intervals have on the architecture of music? An interval is the distance between two notes. Here's another interval. So if we took one famous interval, Jaws is a minor second. If we take another famous interval, Here Comes the Bride, perfect fourth. Another one, Twinkle Twinkle, starts with perfect fifth. And so if we take an even bigger one called perfect octave, you're going to hear that in your next featured piece. So that interval, perfect octave, is pretty large. Generally, the larger the interval, the more dramatic the sound is that it creates. See what you think? Here is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
So this piece is written by Franz Lehár. It's from his operetta The Merry Widow, and it's the famous Villa song that our SRJC choir director Jody Benecke sang in her German virtual concert. It's a very famous piece, and I hope you all will enjoy it.
We want to thank you for joining us for this evening's concert. We also want to remind you again that next fall, the orchestra and the band will be back in person. If you look here, you can see Burbank Auditorium, the $36 million renovated hall. We will be back performing in there in the fall. We will be rehearsing in person, and again, we start August 16th. Very excited. Please spread the word. We are accepting more musicians. If you're interested or if you know somebody who's interested in either the band or the orchestra, please go visit music.santarosa.edu. There you can find all the links for the orchestra and the band and get in touch with me so we can get you involved in the music program. Please spread the word and let people know we are still accepting musicians. If you're having fun, don't worry, we got one more concert after this that we want to invite you to. If you look here, you can see choral concert, Lift Up Your Voice and Sing, Friday, May 21st, 7:30 p.m., featuring the wonderful choir director and department chair Jody Beneke and all the incredible vocal singing, the choir, and smaller ensembles as well at SRJC. We hope to see you there. That's going to be a really fun concert. You can find links to that concert at music.santarosa.edu. Click the Events tab. A couple quick details before we play our last piece for the program. This piece called Ascend by Sam Hazo involves a fugue. So a fugue was mastered by maybe at the highest level, the great Johann Sebastian Bach. So if you go listen to Bach fugues, he maybe did it at the highest level, and this piece kind of takes that idea and tries to put it in a modern context. A fugue is where you have one subject presented, and then it's imitated at different times in the other voices. So for instance, a Bach fugue. And then it will go in the next voice, and the voices will be staggered at different time. That's the Bach G minor fugue. And so this piece, check out the spot here, you can hear a little bit of a fugue happening, which is of course one of the great forms, great architectures in music, coming back from mainly the Baroque era. Here's a little spot in the music where you can hear that fugue. This piece also incorporates another important form called call and response. So call and response, of course, correlates with human communication, how we speak to one another. It's a basic element in musical form, such as, for example, the verse-chorus form. This idea, call and response, you can hear it all over the place in church music, soul, gospel, blues, jazz, folk music, even classical music. If you listen to a Mozart symphony, in all of those music types that I listed, you could hear this call and response part of the form. Here's a quick little example of where that call and response happens in the upcoming piece. To return once more to this idea of the golden section or golden ratio, you might ask, in this last song, does that apply? Indeed it does. If you looked at that point, the golden ratio, golden section of the song, you'd find it's this loud, big climactic section about 2/3 through, and it's right before we go to the key change where we kind of come back into the opening theme that then finishes out the song. So again, this idea of the golden ratio or the golden section keeps coinciding with really pivotal structural parts in the music. We hope you enjoy this final piece on the program. Again, band and orchestra will be rehearsing back in person and performing back in person in the fall. We look forward to seeing all of you, and we hope you enjoy this final piece on the program entitled Ascend.